In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a Marketo advanced form and use UTM parameters, progressive profiling, and visibility rule in Marketo. Hi, I am Chiranjesh Shah. Let's get started. Here in Design Studio, after coming to Design Studio, you need to go to the forms. Under forms, select the folder in which you want to be creating your first Marketo form. So here, this is where I want to create my Marketo form. So I will select that folder. And after selecting, just click right. After clicking right, you will have this option called new form. Click that new form option. And here give them a name of the form. So remember the best practice for creating any form, any asset in Marketo. Since it is a test form, so I'm just giving them as a name as test. GL for our global form, EN for English. This is a standard form, so I'm just writing a standard, and maybe couple of word about what this form will be used for. So I just want to use it as a general standard, general contact form. So I will just type content, standard content download form. Additionally, you can leave a description here. It is optional, but it is always recommended that you leave some kind of a note here for other your colleagues or Marketo users, so they know what this form is about or any asset is about. So right now it is test, so I'm just typing a testing here, and let's hit this button called create. After you click this button create, it will take few seconds to open in an editor. While it is loading, so by default, Marketo will automatically create three fields for you. Those fields will be your first name, last name, and email address. So by these fields are always automatically created by Marketo for you. You don't have to create this field. Now let's say you want to create some more field in this form, for example, job title. So for creating all of this new field, you need to click this plus button here. So just click this plus button, and from here you can select all the field which is there in Marketo to add. So let's say I want to use a field called job title. So I will just type job title, and your form fill is added. If I need to use company, I will just type company here, and name here, and this should be added. So now you see this, this look like there is not enough space between company name. So what I can do is I can simply drag it, and it will give them a space. Additionally, what I can also do is I can just increase the width to label width to 120. So it will nicely fit here. I can give the same width to all the other form fill that I have created. So this is how you will be doing that under the label width. So okay, now we have added first name, last name, email address, job title, and company name in this form. So I also want to be adding some more field. So let's create a country field also. So I will be typing country, and country field will be added. By default, whenever you are adding a country field, it will be created as a text field, but you can always change the text field to, you have other lots of other option as a fill type. So what I will do here is I will be selecting a select field, because I don't want people to be typing their country in an open text field, which can be a source of lot of data issues. So in order to avoid that, I will be always giving them an option to select their country. I don't want people to be typing variation of their country in their own way. Right? So to mitigate that, we can always give a fixed select country. From there, they can select their country list. Right? So we have changed that. What I need to do now is we will have to give them value. For giving them a value, you will have to hit to this option called values, hit this button added. Here you will see two things here. The very first thing that you see here is called display value. And then you also have a store value. So what is the difference between display value and the store value? Display value is what people will be seeing when they will, see when they will see your Marketo form on the landing page or the website. And store value is something that will be stored in the Marketo database. The field that you want to be storing this value into Marketo database, it will be a store value. Store value and the display value can be different depending upon use cases. In many organization, like people will typically will show them as a United States of America, But when it comes to storing those value, they must be storing might be storing only as a US two-digit ISO code standard for country. So when you see the country, it will be showing you completely the complete value of the country, United States of America. But maybe in the database, they are just storing them as a US. Similarly, it could be for India. You're showing them complete full form of the country, and in database, they are just saving it as a IN. Clicking Advanced Editor, you can simply copy and paste all the country list value that you have here, and you're almost done. Yes, so that was quick. If you again go back and add, see the values that have been added. I have added 197 countries. So all of these countries have been already added here. Right? So good. Uh, the other thing that I want to be doing here is I want to also add a phone number here. So I will add phone number. So I will just type phone number. Right. So with this, my phone number is also added. I'll just give it very quickly a label with. So I will just give them 120, so it should be okay now. Now we will learn how we can make any field required. So it's very simple. All you need to do is click the field that you want to mark required. Scroll down under the behavior, you have an option called required. Just click that. Likewise, you can go to the all the field that you want to required. You can mark them required by simply going that field. Right. So I want all of this to be required here, including the company name and the phone number. So I'm just doing that. Yeah. So this is all finished, right? I also want to make a country required, so I will just click that value to be required. Now I want to show you one more thing that is called a visibility rule. So if this is where you see visibility rule, right now it is disabled. So what exactly is a visibility rule? So visibility rule controls or is a basically a logic that will show or hide fields depending upon the criteria that you put. So if you want to control some field and dependable on the other field, so this is where that can be achieved using a visibility rule. For example, your country, you want to show state for a country of the United States of America. That means if anybody from the around the world and if their country belong to India, you don't want to show them states. But if they are coming from United States of America, this is when you want to be showing them another field, which is a state field. So how we can achieve that? We can achieve that creating using the functionality called visibility rule. So before doing that, what we will have to do is we will have to create a dependent field. So right now I don't have a state field here. So I will just click this button and create states. So state is added. I will again give them a just a little breathing space here. So this is done. Now what I want state to be only shown if somebody country is United States of America. So let's do that. So what I will do is I will click this state button. I will go and click this visibility rule. Right now it is disabled. Just click disability rule. And now you see it's saying you show or hide option. So I will just click show. And this is where you will be giving, or you will be adding the logic. The logic is very simple. If this, then do that. So if and then is the same logic you will be using here. And this is where we are saying show state if country is equal to, and from here you can give the name. So I want to be using it for the Canada or United States of America. So let's go and find a United States of America from the drop country drop down. It is here, so I just select United States of America. Then what I want, if the country equal to United States of America, then show this field which is a state field, and this state field already have this values added to it. So let's save it and we will see how that will look when we will be reviewing our form, right? So maybe if you want to see it how that will look, we can simply go now and finish the setup, and then from there we can see how it will actually look into the practical world. In order to see the form, what you need to do is click this, go to the form, click this button here under approved preview, click that. It will take few seconds to load depending upon your Marketo instance speed. And this is where all the fill that we have added are showing here, right? We had added, we have marked them as a required. So all of this you can see red is strict. That means these fields are required. You must be wondering, you had added a state, but why this state is not showing here? Why, where is it gone? So you remember we use visibility rule. That means another field is controlling this case. In this instance, country is controlling when a state to be visible, right? So if I type India, it will not show a state, right? State field is not visible. But if I go to and type United States of America, this is where we had added logic. So now you see magic, your state is now visible. This is what is called progress. This is what is called visibility rule. So now that you understand visibility rule, let's go back to the form and go and make some other changes. So you have already made the change. You already have approved the form. So what you need to do is you will have to again click to make this draft. So you have an option called create draft. Click that. Again, that will take your form to a draft mode, and again you can make any changes that you want to be making. So all of this we have done. Now I want to show you a couple of more important thing here. That is, uh, hidden field. So all of this field that you see are visible to any person who is coming to your website or landing pages to fill this form. But at the same time, you can also what you can also do is you can also make some field hidden. That hidden fields are not visible to any of the person. Those are only for the system and for you. That is hidden in the background, but is doing his stuff, right? So these hidden fields we will be using for using a UTM parameter, right? What exactly is UTM parameter? So if you have clicked any link, any ad, and you might have seen some kind of a code at the top with the start from a question mark and the campaign ID, source, info. It's basically used to track your source, how you have come to this advertisement. Right? So for all of those tracking purposes, you use UTM parameter. There are multiple ways how you can build UTM parameter, but right now we are learning how we can create a UTM parameter very simply within creating those as a hidden form in Marketo. So let's go and create those hidden fill into Marketo. So what I will do is I will click this button again, and I will just look for the UTM fields. If you have not created a UTM field, if you do not have a UTM field, so you will have to create those UTM fields first under the admin section. So I am not gonna do that because I already have a UTM field. So I will just type UTM and I will be selecting some of this value. So very first thing that I want to be selecting is UTM source. So this is where I will be storing all of the UTM source information. Right. So right now, if you see this, the field type is text. I want to make it hidden. So I can select from here, make it hidden. The other field that I want, again UTM. This time I want UTM. This time I want to have a UTM medium, and I also want to make it hidden field. So I will just go and click this button, hidden. So this is how you will be making any form as a hidden field. The third is that I want to add another is your UTM content. So I can just type here, and UTM content is also added. There is another shortcut to make any form hidden. What you need to do is you just need to click the window and Alt and press H, and your form will be form field will be hidden. So what is the shortcut? Window Alt in a window PC and just hit H, and your field will be hidden. So that is a very quick thing. So right now we have made all of this hidden, but this will not do the magic. So what we need to do is we will go back to the UTM hidden field, and from here we will click on this autofill option here. After clicking autofill, you will get some option how you want to be storing those value, how you want to get those value from, right? So you have an option called use default. So if you're very fixed that these are the things that you will be using, and regardless of whatever the source they are coming, you want to be adding them to that source, you can use a default value, but we are not going to do that. We will be using our URL parameter. So I just need to click this URL parameter, and here we need to give a name of the UTM parameter that we will be using. This has to be exact same UTM value, UTM fill that you will be adding into your URLs, right? So even if you're making any uh, you know, small variation into it, it will have a problem with the tracking. So what I want to type here is I will type UTM because we are doing this for the source. We will just type source, right? And we will not type anything for the default. This is done, and just save. Likewise, we also want to be adding for the medium. So again, I will go under the auto field, click auto field, URL parameter, and this time we will just replace it with the medium. The same thing will for the content. I will again do that. I will repeat the same step for the content. Content. Right. With this, you have successfully built your UTM parameter. Now you can go ahead and create your UTM parameter. You can create that UTM parameter within Marketo. You can use that. You can build a UTM URL within Marketo also, or you might be using Google Campaign Builder also for creating this URL UTM parameter. So if you want to learn how you can do it very quickly, I will show you. All you need to do is take the URL that you want to track, go to the URL campaign builder, which is basically a Google Analytics place. Here you can just paste your URL, the main URL, the base URL, and here you can add all the information that you want to be adding. Make sure that the source and everything that you're typing is corresponding with your the UTM field that you have mapped here. Right? So everything that you have added here, for example, UTM underscore source, the same thing should be captured over here. Right? So if as long as you're doing it, your campaign should be able to track that. So let's get back to the form. So we have learned how we can add fields here. How we have also learned how we can make any form field uh, using a visibility rule, show or hide. And we have now also learned how we can make any form a hidden field, and using UTM parameter as a Marketo hidden form. So what we want to be doing next is I want to show you one more step that is called progressive profiling. So for that, what we will be doing is we will move to the next step. Once you go to the next step, you will have a form setting. Under form setting, you have many stuff. So these are the basically themes. You get by default 7 themes. If you want to make these changes to the CSS look and feel of it, you can click this gear icon, and here you can make your add your custom CSS. Right. Uh, the other stuff that you get from the step number two, just click the settings. Under setting, you will see that you also have a form language and form locale. So if you want to change your form language, or maybe to the Germany or some other language, Japanese, you will be able to do that from here. Likewise, you can also select a form locale. Right. There is a one important stuff. It is called progressive profiling. Right. So what you can do is right now by default it is disabled. If you want to use a progressive profiling, just enable it and your progressive profiling will be enabled. Right. So before we do that, let's understand what exactly is a progressive profiling. Progressive profiling is a method wherein you do not want to show a complete long form. You want to show them a short form, but every time they are visiting your landing page or your form, you're capturing those important data point over the period of time rather than asking everything at a first time. And everybody knows that long form will not be performing as much as the short form because nobody will like to fill a laundry list of the form, right? For exchange of any gated content information or any of the other asset from you, to in order to make sure that you are collecting all of the important data point at the same time not compromising with the user experience, this is where you will be using a progressive profiling. So I highly encourage most of my uh, consulting companies to use progressive profiling. So we have enabled it. Now what we will do is we will go back to our step number one, and you will see one major difference here. So now you see this box that says progressive profiling, right? So what progressive profiling will do is any field that is within this box will be progressive profiling, and people will be only seeing those field once they do a subsequent visit to your website or landing page, right? That mean, for example, I have all of this field but I don't want all of this field to be captured. Let's say first time any person is coming, I just want to capture their first name, last name, email address, job title, company name, phone number. Maybe I can capture later, but I want country name and the state name to be captured so that we can do the backend lead routing and other stuff, right? But maybe on the subsequent visit, second and third time, we can capture the other information. I'm taking a very simplified, oversimplified example, but maybe you have a lot of other stuff that you ask in a form. In order to make it short, you will be asking all the important information that you minimum need for doing your backend operation. You will be asking them all the other information that you can live without asking at the very first date. Perhaps you can ask them subsequent visit. You will be adding them into the progressive profiling. Just to give you an example, what I will do now is I will be adding the job title. Simply drag and drop it to the where you have a progressive profiling option. So this is where my job title is, and I will simply drag it and drop here. So it need to go within this box. So this is gone in within this box. I also want this phone number to be not required right now. I will be asking them maybe after some time. Right. So these two things are done. Remaining thing I just want to keep it as it is, right? So what will happen is all of every time that person is seeing this form, they will always see this whatever the fill that is outside of this progressive profiling. Anything within which is within the progressive profiling, they will see it in a subsequent visit. One thing that you need to know about the progressive profiling is that you can also control how many blank field you want to be showing to a person every time they visit, right? Let's say you make it one. So what will happen is for the very first time any person is coming to your Marketo landing page where you have embedded this form, or a website where you have embedded this form, they will see all of this field every time. First name, last name, email address, whichever field which is outside of the box. And if you are using one, so they will also see the job title for the first time. And if they make a second visit, they will not see the job title because this is already been captured. And the other information which are also captured, but those will be still visible. And next time they will be seeing the phone number. So that is how you enable progressive profiling visibility rule. We have also learned how to use UTM parameter within form. So let's also understand how we can make the changes to the submit button. So if you click the submit button, after clicking the submit button, from here you can change the form label. So if you want to say something else, register or anything else, you will be able to change the label directly from here. You also have, this is called waiting label. This is when somebody is submitting that button and it take time to submit that record. This is what it will be showing, right? So sometime you might have seen that it takes some time to make anybody register. This is what message they will be saying it. Most of the time it is very quick, they may not be able, even required to say this, but if you want to change that, you can change it from right here. So this is what we wanted to cover in the form creation part of it. Let's go back to the second step and see some of the other setting that are available. The second available, they recently Marketo have also added two new feature, which is your global form validation rule. If you want to enable any validation rule for global forms, so those can be enabled, disabled right here. If you want to use a Google Captcha for validating whether the person who is filling your form is actual person or a bot, you can enable Captcha from here, right from here. At the bottom, once you have already finished all of this, you will also have to select what you want to happen if somebody fill out this form on a landing page, whether you want to push them or keep them in the same form. If you want to make them stay on the same page, you will just keep it as it is. If you want to send them to an external URL, could be the website URL or maybe a gated content URL that you have uploaded, those can go here. If you want to use a landing page, so landing page option can be selected. Right? The same thing, the same changes can also be made when you're embedding this form to the any of the landing pages. Right? So next, move to the next step. And then the third step, which is the final step, it will show you before finishing the theme of this form that you have selected, how many field you have, and whether you have progressive profiling enabled or disabled. Once you have completed all of this stuff, you are happy with the changes or the edit that you have made to the form, you can just click this button called approve and close. With this, your form will be approved. All the changes that you made to the previous form, you will be able to review it whether those changes that you have made into the form are reflecting or not reflecting, right? Uh, so now let's say you have added this form, you have created this form. Now you want to be embedding this form to the website. You don't want to be adding this form to your landing pages. So for that, what you need to do is you will need to click this option called embed form. If you click this embed form, you will get this code, embed code. All you need to do is you need to copy this and you need to provide this to your web developer. Your web developer will add this script to the landing page or the web page where they are adding this form, and you will have to get a subsequent trigger campaign to listen for the form fills so that they can get all of the stuff that you want to be doing if somebody is filling your embedded form. I hope you found this video valuable. If you found this video valuable, do share with your other Marketo experts and Marketo people who really want to learn Marketo and other motivation to create many more videos very similar to this. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a very good